everybody, and welcome to Mindset Learn Extra. Thanking everybody for joining us right now because we are live on your favorite learning channel. It is channel 319. My name is Pumi, and joining me in studio today, it is Dave with Geography. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Pumi.
How you doing?
I'm keeping well, man.
I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sure, and nice to meet you too,
man.
Yeah.
What are we going to be talking about today?
Today we're looking at people and their needs,
Okay.
and people and places.
Oh, great.
Quite an exciting section.
Yeah.
Quite realistically sort of orientated.
Okay.
So there's lots of things that learners will be able to identify in reality. And it can be a very enjoyable section.
Yeah.
So I'm excited also to start with it
Yeah.
and show them some techniques. And
Yeah.
because I want all our learners out there to score high marks
Yeah,
in
hey?
geography.
Yeah, very important.
Yes,
Wow.
and just to tell them, leave the science and maths for a little while. Because that's what they do. They just go with maths and science and
Yeah.
they forget geography.
Yeah. All right, then, guys, I'm very excited and can't wait till we start with our lesson for today. But we do have our mindsetter as well in studio. Guys, let me introduce you to Sfiso. Hello, Sfiso.
Hello, Pumi. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Safiso.
Hi, mindsetters. My name is Fiso, and I'm from Sebokeng, and I'm representing SO1 Secondary School, and I'm so excited to be doing geography. Yay!
Yay! We all cannot wait to get on and get studying. Right now, guys, let me just quickly remind you that in order for you to interact with us on the show today, all what you have to do is just to jump on our page. It is mindset.co.za/learn/extra/ winter school. So it is as simple as that. You can post all of your questions. We have all the notes that we are going to be doing today on the show. So you can always jump on the page, comment, get your friends to please like us on Facebook. And here is the nicest thing about liking us on Facebook. You can get yourself winning one of these awesome CDs right over here. I have Deep House Chronicles. I have a little bit earlier on, we were giving away Cuba. All right, so guys, we have a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So get your friends to please like us on Facebook. And then what happens is you go to www.mindset.co.za/learn/stop the clock. That is the name of the competition. You will then choose any number between 0 and 9. All of the details will be posted on Facebook. So all what you have to do is just to fill in that little form that you're going to get when you log on to that website, and that's when you can make your guesses. Please don't put them on the wall, because if you have them there, then we're not going to really count them. So in order for you to have them counted or rather considered, it's just to have them on the little form that we are going to be giving to you via the website that you are going to be logging onto. But right now, with all of that said and more, let's just get learning, and please make sure that you have your glass of water so that you can keep refreshing throughout the lesson. Dave?
Thanks, Pumi. I'm just looking at Safiso, and he's got that intelligent look. Because if order to geography, you always have that intelligent look.
Oh,
You
no.
know, geographers are very knowledgeable
Yeah.
and highly intelligent.
Oh, great.
Well done.
Thank you.
Safiso, before I start, and of course, is there anything you want to ask me at first?
Dave, on paper 1, it's theory, right?
Yes.
Which we've got a number of questions, and we're supposed to answer 3 questions.
Yes.
Which questions would you advise that we mindsetters can, that are easily, that we could, that you would recommend?
Well, to Safiso and the learners out there, I'm recommending no questions. There's 4 questions, and just be very careful. Generally, you get your 10 minutes reading time beforehand, Safiso, and the questions can be manageable in 55 minutes. You must know there's 3 questions that you must answer. There's 4 questions on the paper, 2 physical and 2 human. That's 2 physical consisting of your fluvial processes and your climate and weather. And the second part, which we're discussing today, is people and their needs and people and places. But it's difficult because all sections are relevant. All sections can be manageable if you apply, and that's what we're going to do today. But also you may look at a question and say, hey, but I want to do this question because the answers at the beginning look very easy. And then you start with that question. As you're going down, it gets more difficult. And suddenly you have regrets. So my suggestion to all learners, to Safiso and you learners out there, your reading time is given to you. Read through all the questions.
Okay.
And then you make your decision. But don't go into an exam saying, I'm choosing this and I'm choosing this. Because also you must remember, in the first part, you have to choose 3 questions, so you have to know all your sections. Don't favor one section, and suddenly, the section that you favored, you find difficult in the paper, and the other section is easier.
Okay.
Okay, so no breaks, Sifiso.
Okay.
Learners out there, no breaks. You do a proper study and go through your papers.
Okay.
Today, we're actually looking at people and their needs and people and places. Learners, as I've mentioned before, spend some time doing past papers. Each time you actually do a little section, do a past paper. It's so valuable, Safiso, that you do the past paper because it gives you the application side. Geography is life around you. And you can identify with so many things. Did you realize that when you're studying people and places? It's so much that's out there. And to apply it, it's easy. So it's application, but it's simple application. And you may miss the boat if you don't practice.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough said. Let's start off with people and places. Now, I was hoping that, and I'm sure you would have done it, you went through the 2011 final paper. And you will actually also see the pattern. The pattern is more or less, the questions will be different, but the pattern is actually more or less the same. Our Pumi is listening to us, so you'll learn about an intelligent subject. Pumi didn't do geography in grade 12, so we'll teach her a bit also. Okay, so it's important that we look at those things. Another thing also I want to mention is the application regarding the resources given. Many answers are found in the resources. And I call it question happy. Learners jump to questions and don't look at the resources.
Yeah.
And they misinterpret the questions. So when the examiner puts refer to figure 1, we make sure we refer to figure 1. And we look at it. And I'm going to show you guys, learners out there, and Safiso, that how many answers you will be able to find in the papers. Sometimes you may find the resources, especially with people and places and people and needs, can be a bit vague, but you can still manage to work out the answers. Okay. So let's get going with a few, and I'm sorry, Fiso, I'm going to throw you little pieces of advice, and learners out there, throw them a little piece of advice as I'm going. You know, the gray hair here is wisdom.
Sure.
You understand? So we throw a few. Let's take the first now. In your paper itself, as maybe the person with the climate and fluvial processes spoke about, there's going to be shorter questions for 20 marks each, right? 10 marks each rather, 10, 10.
10, 10.
Then there's going to be a question which could vary between 24 to 26 marks, and then there's going to be a question between 14 to 16 marks for each question. Also, it's made up of question 3 and question 4. Now, both sections have a mixture of people and places and people and needs. Half the question is people and places, half the question is people and needs. Easy way to look at it if you want to study people and places. If you look at question 3, it's 3.1, 3.3, 3.4. Same with it, 4.1, 4.3, and 4.4. Then you look at people and their needs, is 3.2, 3.5, 3.6, 4.2, 4.5, 4.6. But just to make it a bit different, we've taken all the people and places questions first, because many cases, and I'm sure the learners out there also, did not actually cover people and their needs at the moment, which is becoming next term. But we'll touch on some questions. I want to show you how you can already answer questions. But I delayed long enough. Let's get to the exciting part. Let's look at this first question down here. And this instruction very, very clearly states, I like purple, refer to figure 1. And we must remember the instructions, illustrating location of towns. Examiner has given you a hint there.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Regarding the location of towns. All right. in relation to each other. So we're comparing location of towns and answer the questions below. We don't even touch, and the more you practice, the quicker you'll start analyzing your resources. Now I know sometimes it's a bit frustrating if we look at the resource down here and we find it gives you, I know the question, so I'm going to show you. You start interpreting land over 300 meters, and you start looking at the area, and sometimes your information is not related to the question. But still, it's important to actually interpret your diagram. So don't get disappointed in that. But the more you practice, you go through. There's an important key, and people tend to, or learners tend to forget the key itself. So it shows us built up area with those little rings. So those are your little built up areas down here. Those little rings that we have here. And here, you understand? Yeah. And here, okay, a motorway, which shows us transport down here. Okay, we have roads. Okay, we have a main road. So quite a bit of transport. Okay, is there anything else we look at? We see there's a town, there's a hamlet, there's a conurbation. So it's also showing you hierarchy of settlements. Now watch for these questions. It can be a mixture, it can come out from different sections. And that is why you need to apply your information, so that you know I can get a question from there, from there, from there. It doesn't necessarily just have a flow pattern. Let's look at question 1. I think that's about all we can look at that's given to us here. We see there's a main road leading here, there's a town there, and there's a conurbation there. Let's look at the questions. Give the term used to describe a large urban area where several towns are joined together. Can be quite heavy, because now you start thinking, is this a metropolitan area? Is this a conurbation? What is it? Yeah. Right? But remember, when we set these papers, we say refer to figure 1. So if you haven't referred to your figure, you may write metropolitan area. You understand?
Yeah.
But in the figure, what is there only, Safiso?
Conurbation.
Conurbation. Can you see? It makes a difference.
Yeah.
That when you study the figure, it actually becomes very simple. For me? So
Yeah.
you're learning your geography.
Yeah, I am.
Good man. So yes, well done. Let me get back to my... Can you see this technology nowadays, eh? It's conurbation. All right? Because you found it. Simple. Let's go to a next one. Identify the rural settlement evident in the sketch. Now, obviously, you know your hierarchy of rural and urban settlements. Safiso, check this one out. Which is the rural settlement here? Let's see.
The hamlet.
Well done. This man is going to get an
Wow.
A. Well done, son. All right. So definitely, it's only one. What we're doing at the moment, Safiso, we're basically getting the answers from the diagram. If we interpreted the diagram properly, geography is not a difficult subject.
It's not.
I know people tend to look at averages in geography and they say, but geography, there's more A's, maths and whatever. It's just that learners just treat it as a studying subject and they just can go and write. If you apply, especially in these two sections, you can fly through it. You don't have to be a rocket scientist like me, you see. I'm just joking. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And I'll show you, Safiso and learners out there, that it's simple. Sophia, I'm just going to get to my pen again and my purple. Will the Sophia of influence of town X or Y be greater? Another very important point. If I don't know my concepts, I'm going to have problems. So I need to know my concepts and need to know how to apply them. So what is sphere of influence? All right? It's the area from which a central place draws its customers. If I don't know that, I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Very important. Know your concepts, know how to apply your concepts. Okay, so I'm going to look up here and I'm going to look at this, which I made a huge mess of. All right? Of course, you're not going to make this mess. I'm forgiven, I'm old. All right? And I'm going to look at these areas here. They're quite close, Safiso and learners out there. It's quite close. You understand?
Yes.
But there's one more deciding factor here. This looks slightly bigger than that. Seems to be getting its customers. There's one more deciding factor here that when I looked at this paper is, if you look carefully here,
The
can you
main
see?
road.
There's a main road. Well done, Safiso. There's a main road down there. So therefore, these people are coming from there to shop there. I think it's better that I do some erasing here. Okay, just to show that clearly. Learners, can you see it here? Go back to my pen. This main road down here gives us a big clue that these people are shopping there. Therefore, the sphere of influence at X is greater. All found in the diagram. Learners, Safiso? Is there anything that's not in the diagram?
Everything is in the diagram.
Basically everything down there. You understand? So when we looked at it, and get back to my, get back to this. Okay, it's X. All right? Next one. Name the theory. Give the name of the theory that explains relative size and of settlements. But before, I know you're thinking about it, Safiso, but before you answer, notice where we jumped now. We jumped to the theories.
Yes.
Can you notice the shift? And that's what we can't learn geography in compartments, especially with this section. It can come from anywhere. All right? So now we're going to the theories.
Yeah.
All right. That shows relative size. You want to give that a try, Safiso?
Still think. I know it's the nucleated and the it's. I don't know the collective name. I forgot the.
It took the shapes of the hexagons, but
Yes.
anyway, remember Kristalla? And his central place theory. Okay, that described it. Very important people. These were difficult concepts to look at, but it's a central place theory.
Okay.
All right? Maybe I should have went on and highlighted down here, Safiso. I was being unfair to you. All right? And I didn't highlight. And it's important to highlight, which I haven't done here also. Take your highlight the important words. Okay, it talks about relative size and spacing. And I suppose if I highlighted that, you would have picked it up, and learners out there, you would have picked it up also. It talks about relative size and spacing. And of course, it's Kristalla's central place theory. Still learning, Pumi?
Yes, I am.
Well done, well done. Now you have regrets you didn't take geography, eh?
Yeah, eh?
See? What is the term used to describe, and I'm going to go back, I got my pen on, trade and transport towns. This was a bit of a tricky one, where a number of routes converge. Bit of a tricky one. Because I'm actually going to show you the answer here, learners, and just be careful, all right?
Okay.
Because when I go back to the answer, the memo showed break of bulk. And I know many of you learners know break of bulk is when one mode of transport changes to another mode of transport. All right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, you could use a process of elimination here. Okay, it couldn't be a central place town because that's not a trade and transport town. You understand?
Yes.
Because when we go back to this, you understand?
Yes.
To a certain extent, it represented junction also.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Where we sort of having it there, but it's shifted at crossroads. You understand? So it was, I wouldn't deny, it was a bit of a sort of vague little question. All right? So the process of elimination where it can't be your sort of town where it's a central place town, and it's, if you're looking at a junction town, basically when we look at it, its routes sort of going out from one area. A gap town will sort of have a mountain behind it. You understand? Or a mountain and it goes between the mountain. So process of elimination here would have brought you to break of bulk points. but a bit
Yeah,
shaky
it's a
on
bit,
this one. Eh?
shaky.
You understand? A
Yeah.
bit shaky, it's a bit vague. But we are going to get questions like this. We can sit here and criticize this. You understand?
Yes.
But it's good that it's there. You understand? So
Yes.
that we can look at how we approach these sort of questions itself. Right.
All right. So, Dave, are we
Yes.
going to the next question?
Yes, yes.
All
yes.
right, cool. Before that, I think we should take a break. What do you think?
Sure. I'm
Sure.
just saying, but not too long because I'm excited to carry on.
Yeah.
So it's Sifiso,
Yeah.
So we'll take that break.
Yeah,
Lorna.
guys, let's go drink water and come back, because when we come back, like Dave said, we are going to be learning more. So please take a break and please get all of your friends to come and like us on Facebook. I have this competition that is very exciting. I'm going to explain it to you when we come back. Welcome back from an ad break, Mindsetters. You are still watching us live on your favorite learning channel. It is channel 319. Now, guys, before an ad break, I told you about this competition that is really exciting, brought to you by Soul Candy. But before we get to it, guys, if you jump onto the page on Facebook, you will see there's this other exciting thing that we have. It's called Curio. That's when you can check yourself if you understanding the lesson that we are giving you today. And here is the code for you to log onto. It is it's OHAV9. All right. Now, guys, if you didn't get that, please go to our page on Facebook. It is mindset.co.za/learn/extra/win to school. So that is where you can get this curio. It is very interesting. It's very exciting. Dave is really talking about people and places. So get to listen to the show, or rather watch the show and understand what we're talking about, so that it can make it easy for you to answer the questions from Curio correctly. Now, guys, about the competition. This is my personal favorite group, Use It. Now, guys, if you would love to have the CD, better make sure that you do enter this exciting competition. You can choose any number between 0 and 9. Now, what you need to do is just to fill in this little form when you log on to www.mindset.co.za/learn/stop the clock. There is that form that you have to fill in your details, and straight after that, you can enter that number that you want, 0 or 9, and then you can walk away with this music CD. And a little bit later on, at the end of our live shows, you are going to win. Any one of you guys stands a chance of winning this nice CD case. It has little nice pockets in there where you can keep your CDs safe and everything like that. But right now, guys, let's just get straight to learning, and make sure that you have a glass of water with you, because hey, this is really going to be an interesting session with Dave.
Thanks, Pumi. Pumi, that has been my CD all the time I wanted it. Can you
No.
call off the competition?
No,
I take it home?
it's for all the mindsetters at home.
Okay, learners, I hope you had your glass of water and you're ready for action again. Let's look at the different types. The first one was short. This one now comes in your 26-mark question. Again, a resource is given. There'll be on very few occasions that you don't get a resource. So
Yeah.
you notice that in your papers,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Let's look at this figure 2. All right, shows, and every time you will notice it actually am I using the right side? And let's look at it. It shows you the figure 2, which shows different settlement patterns and land use. Besides giving you a resource, the examiner guides you, right?
Okay.
Learners out there, Sifiso?
Yes.
Examiner guides you.
Yes.
So it gives you focus. I'm looking at patterns. What's are patterns again? What I studied in patterns, because this can be a bit confusing, eh? We talk about shape, we talk about form, we talk
Yes.
about patterns, and there's so many occasions when people put this, mix it up. Shape will be like your linear, whatever.
Yes.
Patterns would be your dispersed,
Nucleated.
nucleated. Function will be your unifunction, such as primary, multifunctions, such as secondary, tertiary. And we find this when we do final analysis of end-of-year papers, etc. Learners put this and mix it up. So just be careful. So different settlements, the different types of settlements, which could be found in this, you understand?
Yes.
And your land uses. Land uses could be your commercial, residential, whatever. So we got that clear. It tells us quite a bit. Let's look at the picture itself. All right? It said study. We can look at, this seems to be an urban development down here. All right. There's rural. You can see farmsteads down here. So this is actually your urban. So Viso, don't comment about my writing, eh?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I'm old, so you forgive me. All right. And that's rural. You can see sort of farms and whatever, you understand?
Yes.
Farms in the area. Okay? And it's on its own, eh? It's isolated there. You can see the density here. There's other interesting stuff here. All right? This area here looks quite accessible, eh? Accessibility here. Can you see it?
Yes.
I'm just going to write assess in short here. Okay? Accessibility. Here. Okay? Seems some development happening down there. All right? I'm sorry. There's a river here, the ocean. Okay. Looks a bit dirty there, learners. It looks a bit dirty here. And the ocean down here, so good modes of transport. Various things come to our mind. Okay? That what we found down here. Also, we're looking at the road right across here. We're looking at the river cutting across here. So the examiners would have put all this in for some purpose. So let's start looking at the questions itself. Identify the rural settlement labeled 3. All right, Safiso?
Yes.
The learners out there, let's go up. What did we look at? We've already worked the answer out by looking and studying the diagram. Okay.
Yes.
The rural settlement. Okay. And that rural settlement, Safiso, what was it?
Isolated.
Isolated. Well done, Safiso. We're heading for an A.
It's isolated or dispersed, right?
Yes, it can be. You can use isolated. You can use the word dispersed settlement. Remember in geography, in many things, in fact, in some definitions, we write the word concept next to it. If you look at your memos when you study, the word concept actually refers to that you can actually answer it in your own words, as long as it means the same thing. That's the important word. So you'll notice it pops up a lot of places, because geography is very open. It's lots of questions you analyze and you give. And that's why you will find in your memos, it says except other on many times. Because we cannot put so many answers on the memo. And you'll sit to the memo this size. You understand? So it's very open to interpretation. Some questions are not, some questions are. Okay, well done. And of course, there's a second part. Please give a reason to support. I cheated here. Eh?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Did you know this one?
Yes, I did.
I hope your learners knew this one also. Eh? Okay, give a reason to support your answer. And as you look at it down here, learners, you'll notice that it's far away from other houses. Okay, so that's what makes it isolated. Once again, remember, it's not the farm being far away, it's the farmstead that we refer to. The farmstead is far. All right, let's look at the next question. A regional shopping center. I must get my pen back. A regional shopping center. Immediately the word regional. What is regional? Do you understand?
Yes.
It's shopping centers that are found in residential areas. It's shopping centers that are found in the rural-urban fringe, the area between the urban area and the rural area. So you have to have a picture of what it is. Again, the concept comes in. All right. Is planned for site labeled 4. Give one characteristic of this type, or rather give one characteristic of this type of center. Again, watch here, learners. I notice your face, Safiso. You're looking a bit, and I know why you're looking at it, and you'll agree with me. It says the shopping center is planned for site 4. So what went through your mind? Why is it for site 4? Isn't it? And we could misinterpret the question here. We could look at factors there, am I right?
Yes.
But if you actually, that is why you read through everything properly, learners. You understand? Because if you looked at the first part, it just said, hey, I'll start looking at factors. The question basically asked you for one characteristic of this type of center. I know you're going to debate this, man, they're trying to deceive us here. But it's good that we go over this. All right.
Yes.
characteristics. Safiso, I know you don't want to, you got lots in your head. Would you like to go through it? Let's look at it. I'm sorry, I'm always doing that. And of course, it's age again. I need to erase. Number 1. So I'm doing well with my technology here. I need to erase. And if you look at it here, all right? There's various answers. It's much larger neighborhood, close to major roads, massive parking space.
Yes.
Okay, a large variety of shops, many high-order specialized functions. That's one characteristic of it. It's all in one shopping center, eh? Where
Yeah.
sort of you get your high order, your low order goods.
Yes.
But the main thing, you know all this, learners. You've learned this
We've
off.
learned this.
But the main thing on this question was, don't just read the first part. Also look at giving a characteristic. The second part actually tells you the question. And we sometimes misinterpret that. Okay, let's go to the next question. Give one reason that could have influenced the site of settlement 5. Okay, see, can you see this is my artistic ability, eh? How we turn color.
Yeah.
Give one reason that could have influenced the site of settlement 5. Okay? 5. There's it down here. 5. All right. Very clear to see. 5 is situated here. All right?
Near the rural area.
Sorry?
It's near
But
the rural
what
area.
is a factor that influences the site? Now, again, the action word here is the word site. I purposely left it first. You understand?
Can I try?
You want to try, Safiso?
Is it cheap flat land?
Flat land. We don't see the cheap, we see the flat land.
Flat land.
Now, what if I spoke about, that is the important thing here, and I spoke about the city here.
Okay.
Do you understand? Okay, I would say maybe that's in a rural area and it applies to the city. And we get answers like this, learners, where this happens, because we don't look at the action word, and we don't know. Site refers to the exact piece of land, the characteristics of the exact piece of land. So whatever is found there, and you're 100% correct. Well done, Sophie. So
Thank you.
one of the answers is flat land, because when we look at it down here, you'll see it clearly. The land is flat. Many of us take transport as situation. It's a debatable factor. On many occasions, learners get confused. But if that road is cutting through the settlement down here, it's on the site.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So it's site. If it's actually going this way, it's not on the site. So it could be your situation in terms of linkages. So flat land, you're 100% correct. Also, you would find the road itself. Get my eraser and rub that piece off. Get back to the pen. All right, flat land, road, fertile soil. Now, many of us may say we don't see fertile soil here. But when you go up, okay, we can make an assumption. We can accept that. Because around the area, what do you notice? There is lots of farming going on. And just farmers won't farm on a large scale if you don't have fertile soil. All right?
Yes, Dave.
Yes? You got it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Name one factor that favors, one factor again, that favors the location of the industrial area. Note what the examiner has done here. All right, because he hasn't labeled it. Now we know one is an industrial area. But notice also the examiner has put your 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., saying to you that we're going to look at those areas. Right, so we're looking at the location of this area, and we know now it's an industrial area. Now let's look at the diagram itself. All right, what factors? If you so, name me a few then.
I'm a bit confused on this one, eh?
Okay, let's get back to it. I'm happy you mentioning it, and maybe the learners are out there. Name one factor that favors the location. Why is the industry located in that area? All right? That industrial area. What makes it be located in that industrial area down there?
I think because it's near the river.
Yes. All right, river, water supply. What else? We see the ocean here.
Ocean for disposal, maybe.
Well, I hope not too much disposal, right? We don't want to pollute the aquatic systems. But yes, Sofiso, it's happy that you picked on the ocean, but the ocean could be used as transport for exports and imports. We look at this place, we assume the others is generally there. What about flatland? Isn't it?
Yes.
All again is visible on your diagram. So far for these two questions, we hardly saw anything out of the diagram itself, right?
Yes.
All right. So let us look again at the answers on flatland, near the sea for exports, the harbor, availability of water.
Yes.
And there we have it again, Safiso, and learners out there. There's nothing that is not on the diagram. There will be stuff that you have to include. But the things on the resource will lead you to those answers. Nothing hard at the moment, eh?
Nothing hard at the moment.
Right. Let's look at our question here. This I know, Safiso. I don't know how good you are, but this gives us, some learners, a bit of a problem. The short paragraph questions. Learners, I want to say something to you, and please listen carefully. Those memos give you point forms. Safiso?
Yes.
And that is, the memos are meant for the markers. You have to put it in a paragraph, please, because you could lose marks. And it's simple paragraphs. The same thing that you wrote in point form, you just put it into a paragraph with full stops, and it makes a paragraph. It doesn't have to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. All we want to see is your points in a paragraph. And if it's 12 marks, it's 6 points related to this. Okay. But be careful, there could be 2 different things that you have to add into the question itself. All right, let's look at this question. The statement is made first, and some learners read the statement and then they just answer. Please, sometimes, as we showed you the other question, if you remember, Sifiso, there was a statement and then it came to a different question.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
All right, about the characteristics of the shopping center. Yes. So be careful here. Let's read. The urban area, 2, of course, making reference to urban area 2. All right?
Yes.
We can't just say it's a CBD. It looks more city with the CBD there. Is associated with a number of challenges. Learners, a number of challenges. Of course, action word. You understand challenges, restrictions. You understand problems. All these things tend to come to your mind now. So the word challenges will be there. With specific reference to urban area 2, remember, it's not just saying urban area. And this sometimes comes out as a problem. For me, I'm sure in your science and maths, you would have picked the same thing up. Learners see challenges to urban areas. You understand? And they just go, I like to use the phrase, go to town, writing answers about challenges to urban area, this, that, and that. Remember, the examiner said with specific reference to area 2. Area 2 making reference to? That's in the diagram. So no general factors.
Yeah.
They may appear after that, but put your specific factors first. You understand?
Yep.
And then you go with other ones. All right?
Okay.
Okay? With specific reference to area 2, name and discuss in approximately 12 lines the problems it will experience in terms of urban, I'm going to ring this, expansion. Again, concept in there. What is urban expansion?
Yes.
I'll give it a try there.
Yeah, I think it's an increase in the number of people in the urban area.
Safiso, I'm happy you made this point to me.
Okay.
But it's a lot of times where learners confuse these aspects. And I may go through, just out of the discussion there at the moment, all right? 3 terms, and I'm showing you, there's many places in geography why it's important to know your terms. Urban expansion is actually the physical expansion of the city. You understand? Then you've got 2 more, urban growth and urbanization. A common area. So, Sifiso, you may have not got it right, but I'm so happy you mentioned it so that the learners out there could get some clarification also. And urbanization is the increase of percentage of people in urban areas compared to rural areas. And urban growth is the increase in the number of people living in urban areas. You may say, but how that's possible? You understand, why is the concepts not the same? We could have babies. I hope you guys are not doing that. But we could have babies. We could have people coming into the country and living in urban areas. It doesn't mean there's a reduction in the rural areas. So that will be your urban growth. And urbanization is people more higher percentage in the urban areas than the rural areas. And in this way, one of the things we talk about in urbanization is rural-urban migration, which is part of urbanization. So urban expansion actually is the physical expansion. So we're actually saying, what challenges has been put up here on this diagram? Obviously not all are going to be found here. We're going to make some assumptions. But what challenges we have that's limiting the city to expand? All right? There's some visible here already. Let's look at the first one, yes, FISO and learners out there, is the sea, the ocean. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
The ocean is limiting the city or the urban area to expand. On this side, we have the river.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know what's going through your mind. You thought these major scientific answers. And this is what learners out there do.
Yeah,
they look at these major things, it has to be something out of this world and whatever. It's simple answers, learners. And we missed the boat there. It's found here. Can you see it?
Yes,
Making sense, Afisa?
Making sense.
You understand? It's the river down here. All right? On this side is the ocean. On that side, there's farmland. You understand?
Yes.
So that's limiting. 3 answers we already found here. The road could be a limiting factor to a certain extent because it could create problems, isn't it? We build across a big road like that, there could be congestion and traffic and pollution and whatever. Okay?
Yes.
So we found answers already from here. Obviously, when we look at this question, I'm trying to get this down, it could have 2 types of answers here. Eh? It's actually dual if you look at it here. It says the problems it will experience in terms of urban expansion. So this type of question, you could talk about what would limit the urban area expanding. But also, learners, we could look at the problems associated with urban expansion. In terms of if urban areas expand, you understand there'll be a higher density of people, there'll be more pollution, there'll be more cars. You understand? Yeah. So those factors also we can add in this. But we need to analyze carefully. Right? So let's look at the memo on this. I see I'm remembering, Saviso. Go back to my arrow there. All right. You see, expansion is limited to the south due to the ocean. Expansion limited to the east by the river. Possible expansion to the west as a result of farming activity stopping. Loss of income from farmers. Now, can you see the problems associated? Destruction of natural resources. Can you see the 2-way of the questions now? One, we talked about why can't this urban area expand? And secondly, the problems, environmental problems or whatever problems that are associated with the city expanding. Quite a few here, eh?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yes.
More open space in the city will be used up for buildings and projects. These things you know. Learners, Fiso, you know these things.
Yeah, we do.
But it means putting it together.
True.
I hope you're realizing the relevance of going over past papers. Not just going over past papers at the end of the year, but as you study. I think there's an ad break, Pumi.
Yes, there is an ad break, guys. Let me just quickly say a shout out to all the mindsetters that are watching right now. We have Tando Ntombeni, Nombali Malinga, Amy Giorgio Case, and of course there's a nice shout out right there from Vashni Naidu. Hi, a shout out to Kivani and Kaden. I'm really enjoying this show, understanding every bit of it. Thank you right there at home, guys. It's simple as that. Like us on Facebook, post questions so that we can answer them live right here on your favorite learning channel. It is channel 319. Right now, let's take a break. We'll see you after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters, from an ad break. I'm sure you guys are enjoying the show because right here in studio, we are really enjoying it, and we are hoping that you guys are learning as much as we are with our Mindsetter in studio as well. Now, guys, let me just remind you about this competition. We are still doing this Stop the Clock competition. Guys, please enter. Get your friends to please like us on Facebook, and then all what you need to do is just to fill in the form from www.mindset.co.za/learn/stop the clock. That is where you can make your guesses. Say for an example, you chose number 7 and we are at 8. All right, get your friends to please come and like, so that maybe if you get 10 of your friends and your lucky number is like 7, if you get 10 of your friends, it will get back to 7, and then you can stand a chance to win. And we are giving away this music CD. I'm sure you guys have heard of them or anything like that. If you haven't, you know what? Enter this competition and you you see, guys, Dave wants it and I can't give it to Dave. He's a teacher. So I'm saving it for you guys at home. Make sure that you do jump onto that page and like us on Facebook. We really do appreciate everybody that is tuning in and liking us already. Right now, guys, let's just get straight to learning.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you, Pumi. So, you ready for the next session?
Ready.
I'm sure the learners out there are ready, eh? But we went through this, and I just want to conclude on this little piece, Fiso and learners out there. Please remember, put it in a paragraph. That's all we're telling you. Because you could just end up where it's marked out of 1. For each one of these things, you could get actually 1 mark because it's in point form. We're not leaving it to chance. Some learners may tell you, hey, but I think they did mark this way or whatever. We don't leave anything to chance. We give the proper answers. So please put it in a paragraph and full sentences. Okay, let's go to the next one. Are you ready, Safiso?
Yes, I am.
Learners out there? All right, let's look at it. Figure shows migration. Migration. Action word. Movement of people, Safiso. Movement of people, eh?
Yes.
All right. Developing countries. We're getting a picture already in our minds. People moving from developing countries or moving in developing countries. And again, learners, this is happening in front of your eyes, that people are moving. And already I know, you know where people are moving from, even without looking at the pictures. And I see Umi also shaking her head, even as a non-geography person.
Yeah.
She knows they are moving actually from rural areas to urban areas. We're seeing the amount of informal settlements happening. So it's nothing that you can't identify. That's a beauty, Safiso.
Yes.
That's why we are geniuses, man. That's the beauty that we see geography happening in front of us.
Yep.
You know, we use our environment. It's not just in the textbook. Anyway, let me not get too passionate about it. You understand? Let's get back to the questions. Okay, let's look at this. The resource itself. And clear, eh?
Yep.
A better way of life. All right, I'd like to add a little question mark there. Whether it is a better way of life, we never know. But that's the hopes of these people moving, eh? Where are they moving to?
To the city.
Look, a lot of destruction here, eh? Right?
Yeah.
But they're moving to the city. And immediately, what concept comes to your mind?
Urbanization.
There's something under urbanization.
Rural migration.
Rural urban migration. I knew you had it there. You're just teasing me this. Rural urban
Oh, yeah.
migration. Yes. Rural urban migration. Now, in this question, I know I've left out little bits on the mark allocation, etc. I just want to show, because I want to spend more time on getting on how you approach it. Okay? So when we start with this question, I'm going to start looking at the mark allocation again. All right? So it's rural urban migration. Now, learners, same as fluvial process and climate, each thing is 2 marks. Each thing, whether it's a definition, whether you have to identify a feature, whether you have to identify a concept. So if we saw and the learners out there, please, and I'm going to come right in front here and point my finger. Please. We feel so bad when we look at the end of year papers. And I know markers come to me and they tell me, look at this. You can actually get low marks because of the vague answers. If you give a vague answer, there's no 1 mark. It's 0. So just imagine you gave incomplete answers for 80% of the paper, which are partly correct, but it's not full. What you would end up with? 20%. So it's very, very, and I want it right there, very, very important that you give full answers. Many other subjects you use to where there's vague answers. You understand?
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at the answer down here. And I want to show you this, guys. Rural urban migration. And I want to show something. I'm going to go beyond the paper. All right. If I asked you to define rural urban migration, all right, you would say the movement of people from rural areas to urban areas.
Yeah.
If you say movement of the people to urban areas, it's a vague answer.
It's a fake answer.
Learners, it's a vague answer. It's 0. You have to write it full. Yet, of course, people will be moving from rural areas to urban areas. That's one difficulty in geography. If we don't put full answers, it's a 0. No matter how much you fight, you get to your teacher and say, it makes sense, sir, ma'am. You understand? It makes sense. Where are they coming from? 0 for no full answers. And don't be tough on your teachers, because your teachers are teaching you something which is very important. Because if they be soft with you now, what happens at the end of the year?
Yeah.
For me, you've got the experience. You understand, even at university. Eh?
Yeah, hey.
It's tough, you didn't write properly. So yes, rural-urban migration is one of the issues. Is the type of migration that's evident. And if it's one concept, Sifiso, it's actually
2 marks.
2 marks. Everything is 2 marks. If you give 3 concepts, 2 marks each for each concept. Let's look at this. State 3 reasons why people are attracted to cities. Attracted to cities. What factor is it? Is it a push factor or a pull factor?
A pull factor.
Yes, well done, Sifiso. So we don't have to write push or pull. We can say attracted. It's drawing the people there. Can you see the action word here? And in this question, in many occasions we found learners actually just wrote any factor. So what happens? You know education is a factor. Or crime is a factor. Or housing is a factor. And what happens if you wrote education here? Unfortunately, learners, Sifiso, you will get no marks. Can you see it? No marks. And how many marks learners lose? You understand? Calling it a pull factor will make it better.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Better education.
Educational facilities or whatever. Can you see the difference?
Yes, I can.
And sometimes the learners come out and you ask them, how was it? And you say, I smashed. It was so easy. And suddenly you're coming down with a D or an E. I say, but how could I have got it? These are the important things. Let's look at some of the answers, learners. All right, you know these ones.
Yeah.
You know all this. You've been doing it from grade 9. You understand?
Yeah.
But the most important thing, look at what's written here. More job opportunities. Simple, just add 1 or 2 words. Higher salaries, more permanent jobs, greater scope for promotion, superior social amenities, better educational facilities. Does it make sense, guys? Eh?
Yeah.
That's the important word. And here the mark allocation was 3
3.
times 2. Very clearly it's done for you.
Yeah.
It tells you 3 points, 2 marks each. That's what, and total 6. So if I've got this, 6 marks. Learners, another piece of advice is, you may think, at this section I learned, and you write 20 factors. You are wasting time. Do you understand? Because you're only going to get marked the first 3. So just watch out.
Will I be correct if I say bright lights? Because I've read a book saying the factors that attract people into the urban area, it's bright lights, is it electricity? Yeah, they're just written bright lights.
You know, I'm happy you brought that out, Safiso, and maybe some learners out there will be shaking their heads also. They want to know. Watch out, you know. There's phrases to describe things. You know, you say you go to the city for the bright lights. Means the action. You understand? For me now, there's no action, I'm old. But for you guys, the young people, you're going to the city for the action from the rural areas, etc. Please watch out. We can't take those sort of figurative sort of meanings and expressions. What do you mean by that? So, unfortunately, learners, you may talk to your friends, I went there for the bright lights. But here we mark it wrong. You understand? You have to explain maybe more efficient electricity. That could be accepted because some rural areas
Could
don't
also
have
be
it.
entertainment?
You understand? Better entertainment, yes, Safiso. But watch those terminologies,
Okay.
eh? Because we have to mark it wrong, right?
Okay.
But I'm happy you raised that, so learners out there can be very aware that we need to write it in proper ways, eh? Well done, Safiso, for raising that, and thank you very much. And I'm sure the learners will be thanking you also. Let's look at this one. Okay? Assess the impact. This word was very popular at the end of last year's paper, impact. And if a learner didn't know the word impact in the 2012 paper at the end of the year, they lost a lot of marks. Know your action words, eh? What they mean. Of rural depopulation on urban areas. Remember, I used another concept now? Remember, we spoke about it that rural-urban migration, see, I'm going twice now, urban migration, is one aspect of rural depopulation. All right?
Yes.
Another thing could be HIV and AIDS.
Yes.
You understand? There could be so many things. So people, what is happening here? This aspect here, rural depopulation on urban areas, is making more reference to the aspect of rural-urban migration, because that's what the diagram showed us. Okay, you can picture all these people going. And in your mind, you can picture it. And in the exam, you can picture it. All these people going into the urban area. What's going to happen to the urban area? Learners, Fiso?
The economy will drop.
In terms of, we're looking at this massive amount of people going in there.
Going
Into the urban areas.
Oh, into the...
Yes, and I'm happy because many people just look at rural depopulation and start looking at the rural areas.
Yeah.
And a very valid misjudgment or mistake.
Yeah,
Can you see it?
Yes, I
Learners, also out there, we make those common mistakes. All right, so what's going to be? There's going to be lots of people, congestion, strain on facilities, isn't it?
Yes.
You see now, very important, the action words. I think some valid correct answers, Safiso, and some valid mistakes.
Yeah.
Because these are common things that people make. So let's look at the answers down here. All right, there's lack of housing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shortage of housing, which could lead to informal settlements. Okay, in the city. All right? All those little zinc buildings, those shacks, increase in levels of crime because people are not getting jobs. These are realities. sometimes it's based on a need. Crime increases based on a need, not a want. You understand? Unskilled people cannot find jobs. They're coming from the rural area. Can you see the type of answers? Now, all these things you know. You understand?
Yep.
You know them. But it's putting it together and interpreting the question properly. Once again, it's 3 times 2, so I'll give you lack of housing. Let me get back to my pen. Lack of housing, growth of informal settlements, increase in crime, unskilled labor cannot find jobs, whatever. This actually could be a nice 12-mark question, isn't it?
Yes.
Hey? A nice 12-mark question. Okay? Explain the impact HIV and AIDS has on the South African rural landscape. I know, learners, that one can confuse you a bit, eh? Because now you start just looking at the land. You understand? How does it make a difference on the land? But when sometimes the reference to landscape, this sort of refers to the rural environment. You understand? With the people,
Okay,
etc. I know this could be a bit misleading. Okay, but again, knowing your action words and your terminology could have been there. Because some people could write about flattening the land, nobody to look after the land, which also makes sense.
Yeah.
But you need to look at even the other issues. Okay, and there's so much on this one. All right? And if you look at it here, can you see it? Things that you know.
Things that I know.
Increase medical costs. But that word could mislead you. And I'm happy that we're looking at papers like this, learners. You know, not just look at the straightforward ones where the words, you know, there's not such a vagueness about it, because then you know how to handle all types of questions. You understand? This you knew already, the medical cost, to meet daily expenses, family has to sell livestock, assets, spend more time, you understand, with the AIDS patients because they need more care. Child labor increases. This is scary, guys, for me. You know how many places there are child-headed families now because of HIV and AIDS? And it's a serious issue. It's a serious geographic issue that needs to be handled. You understand? Results of shortage in food. Okay? A family becomes socially excluded due to stigma attached. Various answers here which again is around us. Okay? So I went, see how I got carried away too. We just needed 4 marks. Eh? Sometimes you also get carried away when looking at these answers. Okay.
Okay, very interesting, hey?
Yes,
Very interesting. Now, guys, I think we should take a break. I think we should take a break. Guys, please, let's take a break, drink water, and come back. Remember to call all your friends to like us on Facebook, because currently we are sitting at, let me quickly go there and tell you how much number of people that we have on Facebook. Okay, very interesting. It's still loading. But guys, listen, when we come back, I'm going to tell you what is the current lucky number. Remember, you have to choose any number between 0 and 9. Whatever it is that you choose, guys, please make sure that you get your friends to like so that it can, so that we can have the lucky number sitting at the number that you chose. And then at the end of the show, we will be giving away the music CD, thanking Soul Candy for these wonderful CDs that they have for us. Right now, let's take a break. We'll see you after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters. We have reached that final and exciting part of the show where I am going to ask Dave to kindly please stop the clock, because we are still running this competition. So while we're busy waiting for him to stop the clock right over there, guys, this is simple. Get your friends to like us on Facebook, and then...
Yeah, I go.
Oh. Wow. All right, guys, we are currently sitting at 45,372 friends liking us on Facebook, and the current lucky number is number 2. Congratulations to everybody that chose number 2 as their lucky number. You are standing a chance of winning this nice CD from Soul Candy. It's called Music. All right, guys, so anybody that chose number 2 will be winning this. So a little bit later on in the show, before the end, I will be announcing who is the lucky winner that gets to walk away with this Music CD. city. And a little bit later, at the end of our live shows for today, we will be giving away this nice bag. Yes, it is a bag with nice little pockets inside where you can keep all of your CDs in there. Dave really wants this. He really wants this CD, this bag. Guys, you know what? Keep liking us on Facebook so that I can keep it for you. I'm gonna make sure he doesn't get it. I'm gonna keep it safe for you. All right, then, Dave. Let's get learning on geography.
Okay, and I'm learning the stuff also here.
Yay!
Fantastic. My
Great.
technology is improving.
Yay.
Okay, let's look at another question on people and places. This is actually quite a nice one where you match stuff. You understand? It's a different type of question. It says, refer to figure 4. There we go again with my pen. Refer to figure 4 and match the sketches to the descriptions below. All right, learners? If we look at it down here, each one has different aspects. Some of them are sort of patterns, you understand? Some of them give you a different view. Some of them, sorry, and I'm using the wrong word, it's shapes. Can you see it, Safiso? I've also. It's shapes, all right? It's street patterns, it's buildings. You can already work it out here. You can see a river, okay, and it's going along, and the CBD is along the river. So already you worked out. I know you guys worked it out. You say I'm wasting your time. You know that's a linear. All right, if you look at this, it seems more rounded.
Circular.
You understand?
Yeah.
Please don't look for proper circles, learners. You understand?
Yeah.
This is circular. This one with all the roads coming out, it could be more stellar shape. I'm sorry, Safiso, I know you wanted to shout that one out. This, you understand, looks like street patterns, or it looks like river. We're not sure. You understand? But these ones are more clearer. This looks like a side view of a
CBD.
CBD or city or whatever. So some of these pictures or diagrams are a bit vague. Eh? So in these sort of questions, the examiner has to offer you more assistance. Please don't get shocked and say, whoa, I'm not going to answer this question. It's important, learners, to read the questions. Because sometimes it actually could be far more easier to answer than any other questions. And I want to show you this. Look at the first question. Can you see what the examiner has done? He said side view of a city. You know that already. It's the urban profile, isn't it? The side view.
Oh, the side view.
Is an urban profile. Learners, just to give you another example, and where people sometimes when we say side view of an urban area, and the learners jump to it and they write the word profile. Do you realize that's a vague answer?
It is.
Because it refers to every side view. Here it's a side view of an urban area or of a city. It must be written urban profile. Can you see again those things about vague questions? It's partly right. It is a profile. But in geography, you don't get marks for that. It has to be written urban profile. All right?
Yep.
So side view of a city, all the answer is E. And your 2 marks. Can you see how easy it is? All right.
Yeah.
Linear settlement that develops along a river.
B.
Please, learners, can you see? This diagrams, if you just looked at the diagram, you would have said, I don't know, these things are vague, but you start looking at it. Is why it's so important to read through your papers. This is lovely. There's a river here. Can you see the river here? Okay. And basically, it's one only that has a river. So the answers have just been thrown to you. You know that the answer there is actually B. Okay? A stellar-shaped settlement that develops due to growth along radiating. Can you see it here? Radiating transport routes. Which diagram has radiating transport routes? It's only C. All right? If you look at the next one, a planned irregular street pattern. Now, eh?
It's a D.
D. Now that makes it look something funny. You understand? It was a bit vague. It's not giving you much hints. But the examiner gave you more hints in the question. Right. And of course, the last one, that was D. Okay, settlement assuming a circular pattern. And the examiner very conveniently left it for the end, eh? Because this is not a total circular pattern. So you knew, hey, that's the only answer there. Okay, simple. 10 out of 10 for this.
10 out of 10.
Did you get 10 out of 10, Sifiso?
Got 10 out of 10.
You're not lying to me?
Not at
You
all.
didn't change the answer there?
No,
No,
I
I'm coming
didn't.
to check this now, eh?
Come check.
All right, so that one was D, eh?
Yeah.
Sorry, E.
It's
E, eh? No, A.
A.
Sorry, A. A that was there. All right. But I hope you picked up, learners. Don't leave these things out. Go through your question first. All right, let's look at the next one. Whoa.
question 5.
Whoa. I'm doing this quite a few times. Eh? But this, learners, sometimes you may know this. You understand? It talks about urban land use models. And you look at this diagram and you say, what is this? Okay, so I see you smiling there. What is this? Is this concentric zone? Is this sector model? You understand?
Yeah.
Look at the high quality housing where it is. Look at the poor quality housing is on the outskirts. Is it an apartheid model? I am not going to answer this question. Remember, if there's any aspects, and you may have studied models well, you understand? You know it off. But now because of this diagram, you say, I'm not going to answer it yet, I studied hard. Please read through the questions. And if any diagram has got a hint of two models, you understand? Then we, when we're marking your questions, have to look at it. We have to make sense. Geography creates thinkers, not stinkers. I like the way it rhymes. Eh? All right, so it creates that, and we have to look at it. So don't be scared. You've studied hard, you know the stuff. Go for it. You understand? We will look at it. All right, so here we can see clearly, eh? A bit of sectors here. There's another sector here, and then there's concentric circles. Can you see it?
Yes.
It reminds of two ones, eh? The sector model, right, and the concentric zone model, isn't it in one? It's given us a specific thing here of spontaneous shanty towns, which confuses us even further, eh?
Yeah.
Because in the concentric zone model, it said the high income areas and the commuter zone is on the outside. But here we got the shanty towns on the outside. So I think the examiner actually brought some reality here also that's happening. And maybe the examiner has put that for a purpose on the outskirts. Let's start looking, and we see a main road leading to the airport there. Okay, the center area we all identify that as your CBD. Okay, so let's look at it here. Which land use does the sketch resemble? Watch this now, eh? Look what the examiner did. Concentric zone, but we could also include, I'm going to include it here, sector. Okay? We would also include sector, and if sector was given here, we would have given 2 marks, because there are sectors to it. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
All right. Land use zone labeled A. Name the land use zone labeled A. We all know it's the CBD. It's in the center, isn't it? That's how these models, both models gave it. All right? It's in the center, so it's the CBD. Describe the location of the zone. Straightforward, isn't it? And it's found in your diagram.
The
It
center.
is found in the center. You understand? The central business district, which is not really true all the time, eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we've picked it up before. All right? It's found in the central location. What shape? Why is the shape unrealistic? Why? This one is drawn circular. Again, it's a realistic thing. You understand? Why is that shape of this CBD unrealistic? All right? Simply, we can bring in the geomorphological aspect here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, not every area is totally flat. You will get circular patterns, but not every area has a circular pattern. So when we looked at this, obviously, physical obstacles make it important, sort of impossible to have a circular. It doesn't have to be a mountain. It can be a valley. You understand? Anything that could change the shape. All right. Again, with all this, exactly, central location. I gave a description. Let's go to the next one. Give 2 reasons for the development of shanty towns. What did I tell you, Sifiso, learners out there? They added the word shanty town because the examiner wanted to test. There's very little information that's found in your resources that are not going to be used. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is added there. Can you see it? The reasons. Shanty town, okay? Informal settlement. You see this around you. You know the reasons already. You understand? People moving in, lack of housing, you understand, unemployment, and they start to come. Can you see some overlaps with questions?
Yeah.
Hey, that you can use. Let's look at some of the answers. All right, lack of housing. People want to stay close to their work. They can't afford it. So they build a shanty town right next to the place of work. Expensive transport. That's why they stay near there. Poverty is a reality. You understand? Even if you're working, doesn't mean you're unemployed. You're working, but you're earning so little that you can't afford a house. Unemployment, overcrowding. All right, these seem to be issues. And again, this is 2 marks. So we go like this. All right. Marks, easy, eh?
Easy.
Just that we give the full description. Learners, it takes you a few more seconds and you just give the description and you got it again. I'm just going to go through another one here. 5.4, suggest 2 challenges, the action word, associated with shanty town settlements. The word challenges means problems, difficulties. Again, it's an action word.
Yes.
Can you see it? And that's what makes a difference. And I know Pumi is looking at me, and I'm enjoying this, and she's saying, Dave, it's time's up. So I need to look at this very quickly. All right? I know that, Pumi. All right? So it talks about structures not up according to municipal regulations. Okay? Because they don't have the proper procedures. It's just little shacks. Unsightly, unhygienic conditions, pollution, crime, social ills. All this you've seen. All right? Okay. Where these things come up in the shanty towns. And these are actually the challenges that people actually face. You understand? The shanty town itself and the surrounding environment. Okay? Learners, I hope that you've picked up quite a bit of information. I'm not worried about covering so much questions, but I'm more focused on the technique of how you answer. The important thing again, learners, is geography is not difficult. Please, Safiso and the learners out there, each time you do a section, you do climate and weather, go through a past paper. Apply, apply, apply. And please make some time. Don't sit only with your science and maths like Pumi did in school. You understand? He likes Safiso. He tells me every day he starts some revision of programs.
Yep.
Learners, I want to wish you all the best, and I want to see those A's coming in for geography. We want to overpower maths and science. Eh?
All right.
All right.
All right, cool, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mindset Learn Extra. Thanking everybody for joining us right now because we are live on your favorite learning channel. It is channel 319. My name is Pumi, and joining me in studio today, it is Dave with Geography. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Pumi.
How you doing?
I'm keeping well, man.
I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sure, and nice to meet you too, man.
Yeah, man. What are we going to be talking about today?
Today we're looking at people and their needs
Okay.
and people and places.
Oh, great.
Quite an exciting section.
Yeah.
Quite realistically sort of orientated.
Okay.
So there's lots of things that learners will be able to identify in reality. And it can be a very enjoyable section.
Yeah.
So I'm excited also to start with it
Yeah.
and show them some techniques. And
Yeah.
because I want all our learners out there to score high marks
Yeah,
in
hey?
geography.
Yeah, very important.
Yes,
Wow.
and just to tell them, leave the science and maths for a little while, because that's what they do. They just go with maths and science and
Yeah.
they forget geography.
Yeah. All right, then, guys, I'm very excited and can't wait till we start with our lesson for today. But we do have our mindsetter as well in studio. Guys, let me introduce you to Sfiso. Hello, Sfiso.
Hello, Pumi. Hello, Dave.
Hi,
Hi,
Safiso.
mindsetters. My name is Fiso, and I'm from Sebokeng, and I'm representing SO1 Secondary School, and I'm so excited to be doing geography. Yay!
Yay! We all cannot wait to get on and get studying. Right now, guys, let me just quickly remind you that in order for you to interact with us on the show today, all what you have to do is just to jump on our page. It is mindset.co.za/learn/extra/winter school. So it is as simple as that. You can post all of your questions. We have all the notes that we are going to be doing today on.
It's reading time beforehand, Safiso. And the questions can be manageable in 55 minutes. You must know there's 3 questions that you must answer. There's 4 questions on the paper, 2 physical and 2 human. That's 2 physical consisting of your fluvial processes and your climate and weather. And the second part, which we're discussing today, is people and their needs and people and places. But it's difficult because all sections are relevant. All sections can be manageable if you apply, and that's what we're going to do today. But also you may look at a question and say, hey, but I want to do this question because the answers at the beginning look very easy. And then you start with that question. As you're going down, it gets more difficult. And suddenly you have regrets. So my suggestion to all learners, to Safiso and you learners out there, your reading time is given to you. Read through all the questions.
Okay.
And then you make your decision. But don't go into an exam saying, I'm choosing this and I'm choosing this. Because also you must remember, in the first part, you have to choose 3 questions, so you have to know all your sections. Don't favor one section, and suddenly, the section that you favored, you find difficult in the paper, and the other section is easier.
Okay.
Okay, so no breaks, Safiso.
Okay.
Learners out there, no breaks. You do a proper study and go through your papers.
Okay.
Today we're actually looking at people and their needs and people and places. Learners, as I've mentioned before, spend some time doing past papers. Each time you actually do a little section, do a past paper. It's so valuable, Safiso, that you do the past paper because it gives you the application side. Geography is life around you. And you can identify with so many things. Did you realize that when you're studying people and places? It's so much that's out there. And to apply it, it's easy. So it's application, but it's simple application. And you may miss the boat if you don't practice.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough said. Let's start off with people and places. Now, I was hoping that, and I'm sure you would have done it, you went through the 2011 final paper, and you will actually also see the pattern. The pattern is more or less, the questions will be different, but the pattern is actually more or less the same. Our Pumi is listening to us, so you'll learn about an intelligent subject. Pumi didn't do geography in grade 12, so we'll teach her a bit also. Okay, so it's important that we look at those things. Another thing also I want to mention is the application regarding the resources given. Many answers are found in the resources. And I call it question happy. Learners jump to questions and don't look at the resources.
Yeah.
And they misinterpret the questions. So when the examiner puts refer to figure 1, we make sure we refer to figure 1. And we look at it, and I'm going to show you guys, learners out there, and Sifiso, that how many answers you will be able to find in the papers. Sometimes you may find the resources, especially with people and places and people and needs, can be a bit vague, but you can still manage to work out the answers.
Okay.
So let's get going with a few, and I'm sorry, Sifiso, I'm going to throw you little pieces of advice, and learners out there, throw them a little piece of advice as I'm going. You know, the gray hair here is wisdom.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
understand? So we throw a few. Let's take the first now. In your paper itself, as maybe the person with climate and fluvial processes spoke about, there's going to be shorter questions for 20 marks each, right? 10 marks each rather, 10, 10. Then there's going to be a question which could vary between 24 to 26 marks, and then there's going to be a question between 14 to 16 marks for each question. Also, it's made up of question 3 and question 4. Now, both sections have a mixture of people and places and people and needs. Half the question is people and places, half the question is people and needs. Easy way to look at it if you want to study people and places. If you look at question 3, it's 3.1, 3.3, 3.4. Same with it, 4.1, 4.3, and 4.4. Then you look at people and their needs, is 3.2, 3.5, 3.6, 4.2, 4.5, 4.6. But just to make it a bit different, we've taken all the people and places questions first, because many cases, and I'm sure the learners out there also, did not actually cover people and their needs at the moment, which is becoming next term. But we'll touch on some questions.
Okay.
I want to show you how you can already answer questions. But I delayed long enough. Let's get to the exciting part. Let's look at this first question down here. And this instruction very, very clearly states, I like purple, refer to figure 1. And we must remember the instructions illustrating location of towns. Examiner has given you a hint there.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Regarding the location of towns. All right. In relation to each other. So we're comparing location of towns and answer the question.
The show. So you can always jump on the page, comment, get your friends to please like us on Facebook. And here is the nicest thing about liking us on Facebook. You can get yourself winning one of these awesome CDs right over here. I have Deep House Chronicles. I have a little bit earlier on, we were giving away Cuba. All right, so guys, we have a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So get your friends to please like us on Facebook. And then what happens is you go to www.mindset.co.za/learn/stop the clock. That is the name of the competition. You will then choose any number between 0 and 9. All of the details will be posted on Facebook. So all what you have to do is just to fill in that little form that you're going to get when you log on to that website, and that's when you can make your guesses. Please don't put them on the wall, because if you have them there, then we're not going to really count them. So in order for you to have them counted or rather considered, it's just to have them on the little form that we are going to be giving to you via the website that you are going to be logging onto. But right now, with all of that said and more, let's just get learning, and please make sure that you have your glass of water so that you can keep refreshing throughout the lesson. Dave?
Thanks, Pumi. I'm just looking at Sifiso, and he's got that intelligent look. Because if order to geography, you always have that intelligent look.
Oh,
You
no.
know, geographers are very knowledgeable
Yeah.
and highly intelligent.
Oh, great.
Well done.
Thank you.
Sifiso, before I start, and of course, is there anything you want to ask me at first?
Dave, on paper 1, it's theory, right?
Yes.
Which we've got a number of questions, and we're supposed to answer 3 questions.
Yes.
Which questions would you advise that we mindsetters can, that are easily, that we could, that you would recommend?
Well, to Sifiso and the learners out there, I'm recommending no questions. There's 4 questions, and just be very careful. Generally, you get your 10 minutes.